Yeah, I just want to start this way. Thank you to the 12th man. Thank you for turning Kyle Field into what that atmosphere was tonight. That was an electric atmosphere. I think at times that willed us to victory. The energy that group brought was just unbelievable. And so thank you to everybody who came out tonight. Thank you for staying behind us. I stood up here after the Notre Dame game and said we're going to get into these environments and we're going to find ways to win, and we did it tonight. Hats off to our guys. I thought we battled through some ups and downs in that game. I thought we controlled the line of scrimmage. I thought that was critical. You outrushed a team 242-24 in an SEC football game, and you guys can go back to when we started in this league and what it looked like when we used to play those guys. And I think that's a strong statement of where our physicality has gotten to. And then you make them one-dimensional, and then I thought we were able to really turn the heat up on Nussmeier. Obviously, he's a talented quarterback. They've got a talented group of wide receivers. They got yards, but the pressure and the having to throw all the time, I think, leads to the turnovers. And then you win the turnover battle in the second half, 3-0. Some of those lead directly to touchdowns, and those things are critical. And then obviously, unbelievable credit to Marcel Reed, to be ready to go tonight. We just felt like things weren't moving the way we wanted to. It certainly wasn't Connor's fault. There weren't a lot of open windows. We couldn't get the passing game unglued at all. We couldn't call it right. I couldn't get them to run it right. We couldn't get open. It was just a litany of problems. Connor didn't throw it well at times. It was a litany of issues, and we just felt like we needed a spark, and we pulled the trigger and went with Marcel, and what a spark he gave us. And so proud of these guys, proud of where we are, and then obviously this sets up another big one next week. And so we got to get them back. We got to get them rested. We got to get them recovered, and we got to get them ready to go because we're going to have one big stage again next weekend. And so another big opportunity. So from there, I'll kind of open up the questions.
Start left, Olin, then to the right, Brent.
Yeah, Mike, can you give some insight as to, number one, when you started considering going to Marcel? And then I was also going to ask just what was the message to the team at halftime after y'all kind of struggled in that first half?
Yeah, we came in at halftime and just, they were doing a really good job of mixing up coverage. It was causing us a lot of issues in terms of getting our route combinations right. We were having a hard time. There wasn't a lot of people open. We went through the whole passing game in the first half, and there just weren't a lot of open windows to throw the ball. Obviously, Connor had a couple misses for sure. I'm not taking that away from it, but it certainly wasn't all on Connor. And so then, you come in at halftime and you start trying to figure out what do we got to do. And, we start the second half and it doesn't look like it's going in a better direction. At that point, we just really made a decision that we needed to run the ball. We needed Marcel's legs. We needed to be able to get multidimensional in the run game. And that was really the gist of it. It wasn't necessarily Marcel throwing it over Connor. We just felt like the style of offense that Marcel brings was going to give us a spark, and that's what we did.
Second row, Brent, and then Christy.
BJ Mays is such a neat story, the way he stuck with it, and as he said, got a chance to play in the SEC. Could you just kind of speak to him sticking it out and taking advantage of his opportunities?
There's just so many stories like that. And from where we were when I got here, and the whole rhetoric about this program was, NIL and mercenaries and selfishness and all of those things, to see where we are now, right? Where the BJ May story and having to switch positions and learn a new position. And here you are in the biggest game of the year, and he gets two incredible picks in the second half that lead us to victory, right? And you don't see those things. And so that's a credit to those kids in the locker room. It's a credit to their character. It's a credit to who they are, and especially to BJ. What an unbelievable story for him to go out there and do what he did tonight.
Third row on the right, Christy, and then Alex.
I know you guys have much bigger goals, but what does it mean to you to be the only team that hasn't been defeated in SEC play?
That we got a big game next week. Honestly, that's what it means. I told the guys that in the locker room. The price of success and the price of winning games like this is, have a target on your back. And so certainly we're going to walk into an extremely hostile environment. It's going to be the toughest environment this team has ever played in. If you go back over the last 2 years and this year, this stage for us with where we are, they're certainly going to be flying around and they're going to be ready. And so what 5-0 means is we're going to have a really heck of a time trying to get to 6-0.
To the left, Alex.
When you made the quarterback change, what did you tell Connor, and just how did he take that?
Yeah, he took it great. I just told him, I said, it's not you. I said, this is not on you. I'm going to tell everybody it's not on you. We let him down. We all did, but we needed a spark. and we were just at a point where we had to try something different, and we felt like at nothing else Marcel's athleticism would give us a different variable that they probably hadn't spent a ton of time preparing for, and so that's what we did, and it worked for us.
Seemed like you guys had really hard time tackling on defense in the first half. Just what was the difference in the second half, especially just in coverage with the 3 interceptions?
Yeah, I think honestly we got too loose in the first half. I think that's a really talented group, and if you give them space, they're gonna make you miss. And I just thought we got really loose in coverage. We had the big bust on the long touchdown. And those things are just killers. And so we just talked at halftime about like settling down and playing our game. We didn't play our game at all in the first half, and we felt like we took their best shot and we were still in it. And so at that point it was just about like regrouping, settling down, playing the way we were capable of. And still the second half, 10 penalties is going to kill us. Like there's still so many things we've got to fix and so many areas we can get better at.
Front right, Travis.
Mike, I know after the last game you talked about kind of enjoying the moment a little bit in the moment. In the first year, is it still surreal when you kind of accomplish the next step and the next step?
No. Honestly, no. I think my mind transitioned right to South Carolina when the game ended, and all of the things that we've got to fix if we want to take this thing where we want to go. I think we have an amazing opportunity right now that we really want to take advantage of, and to do that, we still got a lot of work to do.
Second row on the left, Shahan.
Shahan George, CBS Sports. You look back to your time at Duke. You guys were able to get that thing going and tonight win so quick. What do you think it is about what you guys do that's able to lead to such effective results immediately?
Yeah, I think it's the way we talk to the young people. I think the things that we talk about, the messaging, how we bring really good people into the building. We talk about doing things together. We talk about culture, and everyone talks about it, but then we go out and we live it every day. And I think we back up our actions. We're very honest. We're very open. And this is a real program. It's not fake. It's not a politician running this program, talking fast and BSing everybody. This is a real program. And for all the recruits out there, this is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
Front right, Mark. Then fourth row.
Mike, you guys really started to get a lot of pressure there in the third quarter. Did you guys talk about anything, up front that you might want to do different at halftime, or was it just that was you guys finally breaking their offensive line down?
Yeah, I think it was probably more like we went in at halftime and we felt like if we could get the game back on level terms, they would be one-dimensional. Like we felt like they were wanting to give up on the run, but the score kind of dictated that they stayed with it a little bit. And I think as the second half wore on and the game got level, then us taking the lead, like it became one-dimensional. And I think when it becomes one-dimensional, like that's the benefit of stopping the run like that. Even though they get the 400 yards, he's got to stand back there and deal with those kids teeing off, and it just speeds his clock up all night, and it results in 3 turnovers. And I think that's really the story of the game in a lot of ways.
Fourth row on the left, Sam.
Mike, when you guys were down double digits, this thing could have gotten out of hand. How much does it mean to you in building this program that you guys were able to kind of face this and overcome it and play the way you guys did? What does it mean for the big picture in your mind?
Yeah, and I never really felt like it was headed that way, honestly, Sam. Obviously the score wasn't where we wanted it to be, but there was no panic on our sideline. I thought we had a great demeanor about ourselves all day. We weren't bouncing around. We weren't hooting and hollering. Like we were focused, and we were focused on and that was what we wanted to be. That's what we talked about. And even as the thing wasn't going the way we wanted to, and they're hitting big plays, and we're not exactly doing the things that we would like to do, the composure was still there, and the talk at halftime from the kids was really good. And that's kind of when I knew we would at least go out and battle, and then we were able to make some plays and really get the momentum swung in our favor.
Second row on the right, Carter. Then we'll go back behind the lights.
Mike, I know you gave Marcel a shout-out after the Missouri game, and I'm just wondering how he maybe handled the last few weeks being the backup again, and how that may have prepared him for a moment like this.
Yeah, I think you see, I don't mean this the wrong way, Carter, but I think you see when he goes in how he's handled the last couple of weeks. You know what I mean? He's out there, he's operating, he's very comfortable, he knows the game plan, he's running the offense the way we want him to run the offense. He still made a couple things that we got to clean up like always, but if he's not doing the things he needs to do to be successful, it doesn't look like that. He goes out there and it probably looks worse than it started, and that thing gets away from us, and this is a whole different story. And so I think when he goes out there and performs the way he does, that's a testimony to his character, obviously his talent, but a testimony to his character and how he handles this 2 weeks since Missouri and how he keeps working and preparing to put himself in position to play. And, we've talked about this. We get 2 quarterbacks ready, like always. And so, you always need 2 quarterbacks. You're always one play away from needing your other guy. And so we certainly never pulled back on what we were doing with him either to make sure that he stayed prepared.
4th row on right, Coach, and then we'll go to the lights.
Mike, this team seems to play really hard for you. They seem resilient. Why do you think your message has resonated and got through so well with this group so quickly?
Yeah, I think it's just a genuine honesty that they appreciate. I think we've been very upfront with them. I'm a guy who leads from the front line. I'm around them all the time. And I'm not one of those guys who's a hugger and pat him on the back, but like I'm with them all the time. And I think they appreciate that. And I think they appreciate the messaging and how real and consistent it is. And that's, I think, where we are.
Time for a couple more. Back left, Parker, and then to the right, Tyler.
Mike, second straight home game, I guess, that they put it on the Jumbotron, what the quarterback said about the 12th man. Like, the team stepped up, but so did the 12th man, I guess, to that challenge, like they needed any more fuel. How do you think they stepped up tonight in that adversity, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that comment didn't have anything to do with it. The 12th man, and I've said this since I got here, there's a lot of things that we've got to elevate in this program. Our home atmosphere is not one of them. Our home atmosphere is absolutely elite. When you play a Saturday night in Kyle, it's electric. When you play a Saturday night in Kyle and it means what tonight meant, that was really special. And I think that was probably the first time in the SEC that we played a game this late in a season that was really important to us too. We've played some big games against some big teams, but that one was as important to us as it was to them, and that's a whole different level. And I think you just saw the 12th man respond to that. I appreciate them coming out in black tonight and supporting the team. I appreciate the way the environment felt, start to finish. It was an absolute special environment tonight.
Tyler, you'll wrap us up. Far right.
Mike, you've said before, how you've been proud of your teams in the past of playing till the end, playing through the 4th quarter and everything. What does it say about your team that the way they elevated, and a lot of it was the circumstance with Marcel, but just how this team played, to the end of the game and elevated as the game went on? Yeah,
I think they're learning what it means to be a winner, and how you go from being a talented football player to a winner. And I think that's the messaging, and I think that's what they're learning how to do. And they're doing the things that winners do, right? They're playing extremely hard. They're straining. They're playing together. They're finishing. Now, winners don't commit 10 penalties, and winners don't do some of the, they don't have 2nd and goal on the 1 and wind up on the 11. So there's still a lot of things that we've got to work on. But, they're learning how to do the things that are important in the game of football to be successful.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Yeah, thank you, guys.